I always had this dream that I would be in the world's greatest mariachi band, and whenever I get an idea in my head, I get like super fixated on that thought, and like to achieve anything in life, you know, requires like hard work, belief in yourself, vision, determination, dedication, and I mean, I can sit here all day and like give you really cliche motivational quotes, but until you actually get up and try, like you'll never really go anywhere. So wanting to accomplish the only goal in my life, I decided to go to Barcelona to try and get some inspiration and ultimately start a mariachi band. So people always assume that I'm Hispanic, I guess because of the color of my skin, which I'm not. And I always thought it was ironic because I've always had this passion for Spanish culture, and I'm not really sure why. I'm just really attracted to like their food and their music, and you know, especially their women. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you are what you love. So you know, I went to Spain to try and get some motivation, and traveling to new places can do a lot to your creativity. I mean, it can be a great way to get some influence. You know, so when I got there, I decided to move in with my sister since she already lived there at the time, and I just needed someone to guide me in the right direction. So I spent most of my days like practicing traditional mariachi music, and I remember early on I was having trouble like coming up with my own style, especially in the beginning, since I felt like it was too similar to stuff that I've heard on the radio, like you know, Tejano music or Mexican dubstep or salsa and whatnot. But I eventually broke through, and after a while, feeling pretty comfortable in the environment that I was in, I decided to recruit a few members to this Spanish orchestra that I was trying to create. We had a couple of performances here and there, but you know, nothing seemed to really put us out there. So I came up with this great idea, and I was like, hey guys, you know, what if we march around the streets of Barcelona and play some of our songs to try and promote ourselves? So we tried that for a few times, and we had a pretty decent fan base, but I feel like the majority of Barcelonians didn't like it at all, and this bothered me like a lot. I didn't understand what the problem was. So as the last resort, like I did the only thing I could think of, and I went to my grandma to seek some advice, and I'll never forget what she told me. She said, Matt, if your work doesn't sufficiently embarrass you, then very likely no one will be touched by it. And I knew what she meant by this, but I didn't fundamentally understand how, and it was pretty evident all around me. I mean, like, people were rioting and protesting all over the city, looting, starting fires. It was crazy, and I mean, it was a pretty scary place to be. You know, it got to the point where the King of Europe had to come out, and he was all like, you know, yo, Matt, I understand what you're trying to do and all, and that's great, but football and Shakira is about the only thing we got going for this country, and we're just going to have to ask you to leave. It's the only way to bring back peace. So sure enough, like, I went back to Texas, but that's not going to stop me from accomplishing my goal. It was quite an experience, to say the least, and I definitely learned something from it, but I've been practicing a lot of Shakira songs lately, so I mean, I feel like I'm ready to go back.